can't believe this is how we are starting 2025. And Happy New Year, by the way. The current state of LA is wild. One of the worst fires I have ever seen. The amount of devastating damage is crazy. A fire that started out of nowhere, that has left a place filled with homes and businesses completely burnt to ash. It really is wild to see how a place can be burned down to the ground. Look at a lot of the homes that were there, completely burnt to ash. I was doing some research about the fires, and it appears that there are multiple fires. The biggest one that started was the Palisades fire. This is the one that got everyone's attention, most likely because it is where a lot of the rich people live. All these fires have really been making the rounds because of how big they are and where they are happening. The people who seem most affected are rich and famous people. A bunch of celebrities' homes have gone up in flames. There are a lot of celebs who lost their homes. LA is known to be a hotspot for the who is who of the entertainment industry, from big Hollywood actors and directors to big star athletes. I will read some information that I could find. It really is interesting to see the details about this fire, and the effects are really not good. At least 25 people have died as wildfires rage in Los Angeles. There are fears that the number will rise. Officials say it may take several weeks to identify victims, as traditional methods such as fingerprinting and visual identification may not be possible. Here is what we know about those who are reported to have died, according to their family members and international media. At least 25 people have died as multiple wildfires fueled by severe drought conditions and strong winds rage across the Los Angeles area. Thousands of firefighters are battling wildfires across 45 square miles of densely populated Los Angeles County. About 88,000 people remain under mandatory evacuation orders, and another 84,000 are under evacuation warnings. At least 25 people have died in the Los Angeles fires as two major blazes continue to burn across the sprawling US city. Firefighters made progress over the weekend in containing the Palisades and Eaton fires, but warned that the return of high winds forecast until Wednesday could see these two spread again or fuel new ones. The fires are already among the most destructive in LA's history when measured by the number of buildings destroyed. Rebuilding will cost tens of billions of dollars. So remember all those celebrities and famous people I was talking about that had their houses burnt down and whatnot? So I'll basically be talking about that right now while reading some of the articles. And it reads as follows. The recent wildfires that have swept through Los Angeles have caused catastrophic damage, destroying homes, businesses, and leaving entire communities in ruins. While the impact of the LA fires has been felt by many, there are several well-known celebrities, including Paris Hilton, Mandy Moore, and Billy Crystal, who have also experienced the heartbreaking loss of their homes. From what I have read, it seems like it continues. It seems like a really lot of big, like pretty much the biggest people of entertainment right now when it comes to celebrities and whatnot have lost their homes. And I can say I'm not surprised, seeing as the fires have mainly been happening in LA. But I'll read up a little bit more for you, and reads as follows. Stars such as the Kardashians, Britney Spears, and Dua Lipa also evacuated their respective homes. Celebrities including Eugene Levy, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Anna Faris, Anthony Hopkins, Kendall Jenner, Miles Taylor, Adam Brody, and Leoton Meester have lost their homes to the fires. That's kind of crazy because these people kind of thought, I'm sure that they assumed they would have security and whatnot, and that they would have everything they needed. So it's kind of crazy that all these people's houses have either been burnt down or they had to evacuate them. I don't know how to feel about it, but yeah. Now I'm going to read some of the stories about the 25 people who died. Now these are not famous people, these are just people who lived in the general area of where the fires took place. And it reads as follows. Victor Shaw died trying to defend his home from the wildfire in Altadena, his family said. The 66-year-old's body was found on the side of the road by his property with a garden hose in his hand. According to the TV network KTLA, the property had been in Mr. Shaw's family for nearly 55 years. Mr. Shaw lived at the home with his younger sister, Sherry, who said that she tried to get him to evacuate with her on Tuesday night as the fire moved closer. That's kind of sad. This man wanted to defend his house against the fires or fight the fire, and he lost his life trying to do so. I would honestly say that, Sometimes in life, maybe your possessions really aren't worth that much. They're not worth your life, so that your family has to live on without you. 66 is an old age. Maybe he'd really lived his life at that point and didn't want to see go up. But it is what it is, and I'm sad that this guy lost his life. Mr. Mio died in his Malibu home. His mother, Carol Smith, told CNN. The 55-year-old told Mrs. Smith on Tuesday that he had a garden hose ready to protect the house, where he had been living for decades, from the encroaching fire. His home was his prized possession. That's the one and only house he ever owned, Mrs. Smith said, according to the news outlet. Now that I'm realizing how many memories he had in the home, I can understand why he didn't want to leave. As I said before, your possessions are really not worth your life. I know you worked hard for them and you don't want to see them go up, but losing your life over it really isn't a smart thing to do, and it's really not a good thing to do. But I really hope the sacrifice was worth it in his eyes, because these people risked their lives, or pretty much sacrificed their lives for their possessions, and in the end they're most likely burnt down anyway. Yeah, man. Not everyone, people appreciate their things in different ways. Some people really do cherish the simple things they have. You might look at it and think it doesn't have, you might look at it a different way, but it's the reason why is because it doesn't have value to you. It has value to the person who's looking at it. But unfortunately, these people lost their lives, so that's what it is. My final thoughts on the LA fires are, nobody's untouchable. This has really shown the mortality of the human body or the human being. People who probably never thought that something like this would affect them or destroy their lives have destroyed their lives. I'm sure a lot of the people that stuff like this happened to didn't expect this to happen, especially at this magnitude. It's literally, this fire is like a purge. It's almost like something out of a movie or a novel. It's crazy to see how people have been affected because of this, and it's literally some of the biggest celebrities in the entertainment industry right now. So take this as a lesson, maybe. I think that's the best way you can view this. Take this as a lesson to be humble, and to maybe not think of yourself as so important as the fact of that the world cannot live without you. This is a very good example, because it's interesting how this fire has mainly targeted the rich side of LA, and LA is known to be a very rich area in general, and it's mainly targeted the rich. And unfortunately, it's also targeted some hardworking people who've only ever known the stuff they have, or most likely have worked their butts off to get to LA, and they didn't want to see it go up in flames, but they risked their lives for it. They risked their lives for something superficial. And listen, I know I said different things have different meanings to people, but it's like we kind of need to reach a point to where we say, yo, this is just a possession. I know what you went through to get it, but it's not worth your life. Because sometimes the hard work really is crushing. You break your back, you break your bones just to make it in life, and then now it's getting taken away just like that. But I don't know. You could call it karma, you could call it whatever you want, but from what I know is we should only be able to learn from this experience. Be humble, be kind, love people, be supportive, maybe be more charitable, maybe be less stubborn. I think that's the only thing we can really take away. I'm trying to be positive, and I'm not a positive person, but let's try and be positive about this. Let's use this to grow as people, maybe grow closer, help each other, maybe get to know your neighbors, maybe get to know the person down the street, maybe be a leader, maybe be someone's maybe be someone that someone else can confide in. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. It's very unfortunate, and I'm really sorry and sad that to all the people who lost their lives, specifically to the people who didn't want to see everything they'd worked their whole lives for go up in flames. But yeah, this is controversial signing off. Bye.